I was sold on the black market. My mom sold me for drugs. During that time, my adopted parents had already adopted my older brother and my older sister. And they started going to court to fight for me against the people that bought me. They were just believing that they would win the case, even though everything was against them. Behind the scenes, the public defender fought for my case. Public defenders usually don't go above and beyond. He ended up winning the case, and I was able to stay with my siblings and get adopted by my parents. My adopted parents are pastors, so I grew up in the church. I knew of Jesus, but I did not have a personal relationship with the Lord. I was in a really abusive relationship, mentally, physically, emotionally. I was just in a bad place. I was really reliant and addicted to prescription medication, alcohol. I was addicted to sex. I was just in a really dark place. But one night I took a whole bottle of pills and drank a lot. And I got dizzy and I started seeing black dots, and I really thought that that was the end of my life. But in that moment, I called to the Lord and I just asked him if he let me live another day, that I would live for him and I would give up my ways. I woke up the next morning and I decided to move out of the house I was in. I packed up my bags and went back home. My parents accepted me with loving arms. I gave up alcohol. I gave up having sex. But the one thing I struggled giving up was prescription medication. I began to ask the Lord what he wanted me to do. Every time I would look on my phone, on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, CFNI kept popping up. And I realized that the seed was already planted in me from CFNI when I was a child, because my mom would play the CFNI worship music. I would go to YFN and CFNI would come to my church to do worship. I told the Lord, if this is where you want me to go, then you will pay the way, because I had no money. Within 2 weeks, I received $3,000, so I came. It was during Encounter Week when I really just felt the presence of the Lord and the love of the Lord. I found myself on the floor in full surrender, but the Lord told me that there was still something that I didn't want to surrender. And I knew in that moment that it was my prescription pills, my addiction to them. So the next day, I decided to tell my RA. I gave her my pills and I completely surrendered it all to the Lord. He then just comforted me and began to walk with me. I started counseling with Dean Jen. She was just so loving and so caring, and she didn't condemn me, she just loved me, and she walked me through anger and unforgiveness and hate. And it was in her office where I got radically saved. I experienced the love he had for me. The Lord began to do work in me, complete 180 of my life. He softened my heart. He changed my way of thinking. He just completely restored me. It doesn't matter what your story is, but Jesus loves you. And there is no guilt, there is no shame, there is no condemnation in the love of Jesus. I just encourage you just to surrender. Surrender it all, because you are a son and a daughter of God.